In this tutorial, I want to show how to do a couple of the different options for the exercises. One is to do a kind of semi-transparent direct overlay of one clip on top of another, and the other is to do kind of side-by-side or diptych arrangement, both of which allow for the kind of simultaneous experience of two video clips at the same time. So basic setup here, you can see the Camtasia interface. If you haven't looked at this already, the project interface anyway has this sort of three parts type of structure to it. The media bin here on the upper left, timeline runs below, as you can see, multiple tracks, and then a kind of viewing window or panel as well. So that's pretty much the way the interface is divided. And to get things into the timeline, you simply import, use the import button and add files from somewhere on your computer, or you just basically make a recording, and when you're done recording, it will automatically drop it into this bin here. So then you just click and drag things from your media bin down into the timeline, and that's how I got these three clips here. So I've got a video clip here, I've got another video clip here, and I've got a sound clip at the bottom. So I'm not going to play any audio for this demonstration, because I really just want to show how to do the kind of resizing and whatnot in the viewing window, so that you can get the kind of transparent overlay and also get the side-by-side or diptych arrangement. So the way this works is, you'll notice I've got this. There's one clip at the top of the list. The top track is going to be the foreground. That's pretty much the same way it worked with layers in Photoshop. So if I want to see the other clip, I just drag it up and drop it, and now that's in the foreground or at the top level, and so forth. So basically, you have the option to switch things around in these tracks pretty easily. The first one I want to show is just how to do the transparent kind of simultaneity that I mentioned earlier. So you can notice that when you click on a clip in the timeline, you will get it displays, and it also gives you resizing handles, so you can either pull it out to kind of zoom in on a particular part of it, or you can make it smaller. So what I'm going to do here is just try to get these two clips to more or less match up. I'm not going to be too careful about this right now, just for the demonstration, but try to get the two clips to be pretty much the same size. And then what I do to get the transparent is just to select the clip that's at the top level, and then click in the right-hand side of the interface. There's a button here for hide or show properties. So right now the properties panel is hiding. So if I click that button, it shows. And then one of the options I have in that panel is to adjust the transparency or opacity. So if I drag that slider to the left, you can see what starts to happen. Now you're seeing more than one video at the same time, pretty much. So you can kind of see, if I keep dragging it all the way over, I'm seeing nothing of the clip on top and everything of the clip below it. I get about halfway, I'm seeing both, and if I go the other direction, I don't see anything below. So I'm going to leave it right around, the 50% mark, and see how that works. You can kind of adjust it based on how it looks. And then when I sort of drag the playhead or kind of scrub through this, you can see that you get this kind of interesting sort of two things happening at once, both clips happening at the same time, and you can kind of see what's going on in both areas, but also see some surprising sort of overlaps or juxtapositions, right? So that's the first one. The second one is to resize the clips in the viewing window so that you can see both at the same time, but playing next to each other. So from that first one, you can kind of get the idea here what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and change the opacity of that clip back to full opaque, right? And then I'm going to resize both of these clips in the viewing window to pretty much approximate a 50% of the screen each in width. That's going to proportionally change it, right? So it's not going to be the same overall proportion. But I get them, again, pretty much just to match close enough for now, just for the sake of the demonstration, and then get them to line up pretty well. And then you can see the two clips there. I can then close this panel just so we get a bigger view of this now. Go back to, say, a 75% view. And then again, you can finesse this. You can try to get the lineup to be just perfect, just what you want, etc. And then you can see when I go back and scrub through this again, you can get both things happening at once, but gets again some interesting interrelationships and juxtapositions, right? So that's the idea, and that's how you create the kind of diptych arrangement. And then you would then export this just as you would any other project in Camtasia. And there are tutorials on that on the Camtasia site that I provided a link to. It's just this part here, there wasn't really any clear tutorial on how to do the semi-transparent overlay or how to do the kind of side-by-side diptych that I could see that was easy to find. And so I decided I would create this one here. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful.